The Rays' fortunes seem to be turning in the right direction. Tampa Bay has won 3 straight, highlighted by last night's dramatic extra inning win over the Yankees. Tonight, the Rays will send their ace, David Price, to the hill against Derek Jeter and the Yankees. Welcome to T-Mobile Tuesday Night Baseball. We greet you from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Lovely evening for baseball. This is Game 2 of this 3-game series between the Rays and the New York Yankees. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to an evening of Rays baseball. Dwayne Stats with Brian Anderson, Todd Callis along in a few moments. Well, the Rays have started this 11-game road trip, winning 4 of the last 5 last night. It was Logan Forsythe getting the big hit for the Rays. He has been red hot, a key ingredient in this recent upturn by the Rays.
When you look at Logan Forsythe, the swing shows his confidence right now. He has been very quick to the baseball, and the way that you look at him swing the bat right now, especially aggressive, decisive. And you look at those numbers right there, he has been productive. The last 10 games, a .457 average, a couple of home runs. He's driven in 5, 6 multi-hit games, and on-base percentage of .500. And the big hit last night in that 12th inning, going right back up the middle, and seemingly the game, was going to go another inning. He ended it for the Rays in that one.
And tonight, in the middle game of this series, it will be David Price on the mound. He is pitching, he said, after his last start, as well as he's ever pitched.
Could you argue with him? Could you argue with him? You look at his last 5 starts, he's gone double digits in strikeouts in his last 5 consecutive starts. That's something that hasn't been done since 2004. 54 strikeouts in 39 2/3 innings, and when you break them down, there has not been one culprit. He has been dominant with every pitch that he throws, using his fastball, explosive fastball once again, to both sides of the plate. He's been good with the cutter, he's been good with the curveball, he's been good with the changeup, and he will look to keep it rolling tonight in the Bronx against the Yankees.
So it's David Price looking for his 7th win of the year. Hiroki Kuroda, the 39-year-old right-hander, on the hill for the New York Yankees. His record even as he comes into this one tonight. 5 wins and 5 losses. He has been pitching a bit better as of late. So the Rays and the Yankees, a win tonight would give the Rays a series win with a game left to go tomorrow afternoon. And right now for the Rays, it's all about winning each series one at a time. First pitch just moments away. It's a warm evening in the Bronx, 85 degrees as we get set to play ball. Rays and the Yankees. Rays are up in this season series. They've won 4 of the first 8 games played between these two clubs this year. And as a result of the base hit in the 12th inning by Logan Forsythe last night, the Rays are 3-1 here at Yankee Stadium this season. Starting lineup for the Rays presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Desmond Jennings continues in the leadoff spot, followed by Ben Zobrist and then Matt Joyce. Evan Longoria hits cleanup in front of the first baseman James Looney. Then comes Logan Forsythe. The DH is Cole Figueroa. Jose Molina, the catcher, hits 8th, and Kevin Kiermaier will bat 9th.
Well, the Rays will be facing the right-hander tonight for the New York Yankees, Hiroki Kuroda. And Dwayne, you alluded to it in the open, pitching better as of late. 4 of his last 5 starts have been quality starts, including his last 2. Doesn't have a really good run against the Rays overall, but he is throwing the ball much better. Let's take a look at that Yankee defense as it lines up behind him. Brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. In the outfield, left to right, Brett Gardner, Jacoby Ellsbury, and Alfonso Soriano. Across the infield, third to first, Yanhervis Solarte, Derek Jeter, Brian Roberts, and Mark Teixeira. Francisco Cervelli will be behind the plate.
There's Soriano out there in right field, returning to the Yankees lineup after missing a couple of games. Alfonso Soriano and his right-handed bat in there against David Price in this game. He's had a modicum of success against Price. Not many hitters have had a lot of success against David, especially the way he's throwing the ball now. And there's Desmond Jennings approaching the plate to lead it off tonight. Boy, there's a feel on this ball club that has not been there the first couple months of the season. You can see it. You sense it.
You can see it. You can see it. You run into guys away from the field. A lot of smiles, bounce in the step. You see the way that they're playing the game, a high level of energy.
And here's Jennings. Desmond starts the night hitting .235 with an on-base percentage of .330 now. And the first pitch of this game is a ball. First pitch presented by Pinch-A-Penny. Alfonso Marquez works the plate tonight, and he at times can be strict with that strike zone. There's a base hit. Liner into left, and Jennings is aboard.
Well, you look at Kuroda and what he's done against the Rays in his career. 6 starts, a 2-3 record, 6.94 earned run average. Rays hitters have taken advantage of mistakes, much like Desmond Jennings did right there. And they really have been tough on Kuroda. Good start for him tonight.
Desmond now 4 of 12 against him. And here's Ben Zobrist with 5 hits and 15 at-bats, including 2 home runs against Kuroda. One ball, no strikes.
Well, fastball not overpowering. Slider, curveball, of course, the split is a good pitch for him. He likes to go to that, obviously, with 2 strikes. And he is a strike thrower. He's in the top 10 in Major League Baseball, or top 10 in the American League in walks per 9 innings at 1.88, just 20 walks in 95 2/3 innings.
Yeah, how about these 2 starters tonight? Just 34 walks between the 2 of them. Up and away. 2 balls, no strikes.
You know, you mentioned Alfonso Marquez and has that tendency to have a tight strike zone. If that's the case, that holds true tonight, then that obviously is going to favor the guy with better stuff, the guy that can pitch out over the plate and get away with that. And you would assume that to be David Price.
And there is ball 3, 3-0.
To your point, That's a good pitch right there. 90 miles an hour. Definitely had the plate. Certainly looked to be high enough.
Ted Barrett's the crew chief at second. Paul Schreiber at first. Will Little worked the plate last night. He's down at third. And Alfonso Marquez calling the balls and strikes. Now it's 3-1. Matt Joyce on deck. Desmond back in at first. Rays getting that leadoff base hit from Desmond. Interestingly enough, last night, Vin Zobrist and Desmond Jennings at the top of the Rays order were on base 7 times between the two of them without the benefit of a hit. Now the count is full. Jennings walked twice, was hit twice by a pitch last night. And down the middle of the game, Zobrist walked 3 consecutive times. Jennings aboard at first. Full count on Zobrist. And Desmond just did get back in there. A little herky-jerky getting back to the bag, and he just beat the tag.
Well, you know, with a full count, you see right there, Desmond was going to be off and running. But as a right-handed first baseman, watch how far Teixeira has to reach. That's why you go to that back corner when you're diving back in.
And again over there.
You want to increase, you know, a left-handed first baseman, they can let that ball go and almost catch it as they're tagging, where a right-handed first baseman has to catch it out in front and then reach back. Takes him just a little bit longer. Desmond 12 out of 18. He was caught twice last night's game.
He's gone. The pitch popped up. Foul ball. And it's going to be caught. Cervelli over there up against the railing right in front of Joe Madden reaching in to make the catch. It's a nice play by the Yankee catcher.
You know, he really approached that ball very well. Didn't get over anxious, continued to look for that wall, then at the last minute reaches up there to catch that, starts to go over the edge, and is saved by the Rays manager. Joe Madden.
That's catcher to catcher there. Joe has that catching background and clearing way for Cervelli and then keeping him upright. Here's Matt Joyce. And he takes the breaking ball in there for a strike. Curveball.
That curveball by Kuroda, he doesn't use it a lot. Majority of the time is just like that, early in the count to try to get ahead of you 0-1. And that's what he's done here with Matt Joyce. Matt Joyce seeing the ball very well right now.
Jennings back in, standing up.
Kuroda's not the easiest guy to run on. Opposing base stealers, just 2 out of 4 this year. Gave up 17 2 years ago, but he's really cleaned that part of his game up.
Cut and a miss. Joyce down 0-2. Rays came into the series 13th in the American League in stolen bases, 13th in runs scored. And Joyce is out on strikes. Well, you get to 2 strikes. Tough place to be against Kuroda with that pitch.
Well, he got a split for strike 2 and then takes this one even further out of the zone for strike 3. Takes it right down to the dirt, and you're right. That's a tough pitch to lay off of, especially when he has that kind of finish on it.
There's Longoria. First pitch is a strike. Joyce had had success against Kuroda in the past. Longoria has some pretty good numbers against him. Overall, 262 with 10 home runs on the year. One fastball off the plate end.
Well, the guy like Evan Longoria, who has shown that ability to hit the ball the other way with some power. He's been swinging better on balls middle in. You've got to keep those kind of guys uncomfortable, and it doesn't matter if he's having the kind of year you expect him to or not. He's still capable, and Kuroda is pitching him as such.
1-2.
That's what the previous pitch gets you. That fastball that was tight on Evan kept him from diving here, and then watch the swing. A very weak feeling for the ball type of swing, more of a wave than a swing. And that's exactly what the previous fastball set up.
Desmond single to start the game. Still at first with 2 away. Rays 4-1 on the road trip. They've won 12 of their last 19. Into the dirt, and it's blocked by Cervelli. Nice job by the Yankee catcher.
When that ball came out of the hand, I think Kuroda was looking to go with another split, and he just yanked this one right into the ground, well in front of the plate. Made for a difficult chance for Cervelli, but he came up big.
Roller to third. Solarte takes it to Roberts for the force. Rays leave a man in the first. No score. New York coming in to bat. New York lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Fred Gardner leads off, then Derek Jeter and Jacoby Ellsbury with Mark Teixeira hitting cleanup in front of the DH Carlos Beltran. Alfonso Soriano's in right. Roberts will be at second. Cervelli behind the plate, and Solarte at third, hitting ninth.
They'll be taking on the Rays' big left-hander, David Price, making his 18th start of the season. How about this? His last 6 starts, 46 2/3 innings, 60 strikeouts to just 6 balls. Only a 2-3 record in that time span. And in fact, the team record in those 6 starts, just 2-4.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. The fact that he's 6-7 right now, and the kind of run he's had, and in his own mind throwing the ball better than he's ever thrown it. He's been something to watch recently. And here is Gardner to lead it off. First pitch is a ball.
He's the kind of guy you like to watch because he doesn't beat around the bush. He's one of those guys that, much like in everyday life, gets right to the point, and you appreciate it. Here it is. Let's go play some ball.
After his 10th career win over New York, he's 9-5 against the Yankees. Picks up a strike. 1-1 on Gardner. That gives him the jump. Fastball in for a strike. And it's 1-2. Joe Madden and Jim Hickey from the Rays dugout. Madden pleased to come away with not only the win, that extra inning win. Boy, you win a game like that, and he says it's a morale booster. You lose a game like that, it's just the opposite.
Especially in the manner in which he would have lost it. By giving up the lead in the ninth and then losing in extra innings, that would have been a tough loss. But you know what? The Yankee relievers continue to give the Rays opportunities after getting 2 outs in an inning. They did it one too many times last night. Geyer and Forsythe made him pay.
The fact that the Rays then did recover and win that game is indicative of the feel of this club recently as they started this road trip on an upbeat. Brandon Geyer, he had a 2-out walk and a big stolen base in the 12th inning. And scored the go-ahead run on the Logan Forsythe base hit. And ball 4. So he walks Gardner. It's only the 15th walk he's given up all year in 124 plus innings.
And very rarely will you see a leadoff walk from David. Let's take a look at his defense as it lines up tonight. Brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source in the outfield, left to right. Matt Joyce, Desmond Jennings, and Kevin Kiermaier. Across the infield, third to first, Evan Longoria, Ben Zobrist, Logan Forsythe, and James Looney. Jose Molina will be behind the plate.
Rays put their leadoff man on in the top of the first. Left him at first. Now the Yankees draw the leadoff walk to start the bottom half of the inning. So Gardner's over there, and here's Derek Jeter. Jeter hitting .273 to start the game tonight. And Gardner, 15 of 18 running this year.
Yeah, you got to keep an eye on him doing that. You've got to keep an eye on Derek Jeter and Gardner for a potential hit and run. You know, with Looney holding Gardner on and Derek Jeter's ability to hit the ball the other way, it's a perfect combo for that too. And with David Price, you figure Yankees are going to look to manufacture some offense.
Pitch is high. 1 ball, no strikes.
This is a Yankee team that a lot of well-known, well-traveled, productive names through the lineup throughout the years, but they have not been getting it done this year.
Just an eye on Gardner at first. Price walked 1 in 8 1/3 in his last outing against Pittsburgh. That's a strike to Jeter, 1-1. There's the low walk total, one side of the story for Price, and the high strikeout total, the other side. 5 consecutive games of double-digit strikeout totals for Price.
He's a guy throughout his career, and even counting this year, his career strikeouts per 9 innings is 8.37. And this year, he's just under 10.5.
Yep.
144 strikeouts in those 124 innings of his. And still managing just over 15 pitches an inning. Pretty incredible.
Jeter lifts a fly ball toward right center where Jennings waits for it. Not overly deep. That'll be the first out. Gardner retreats to first base. You know, the Rays as a staff had a record-breaking strikeout total in the month of June. David Price, 5 starts over the month, had 54 strikeouts. Got the strikeout they needed last night. It went extra innings. Brad Boxberger struck out Ichiro Suzuki for number 287. It's the single month all-time high in strikeouts in the major leagues. And here's Jacoby Ellsbury. Ellsbury, the number 3 hitter for the Yankees. Price starts him with a strike. Well, the Rays know they're in a situation where there's very little wiggle room for them now, but there is legitimate conversation, at least they feel it's legitimate, that the season at this point isn't a total loss. So Joe Maddon managing each and every game with that sense of urgency.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, you're going to see a guy like David Price. He's going to have the longest leash of the starters, no question. Well deserved. But I think with the other guys that Joe is going to manage these games much like he would a playoff game. Mm-hmm. And if you're in trouble early and showing no signs of coming out of it, he's going to get you out of there. He's not going to allow these games to get out of hand early, where maybe earlier in the season or if you're in first place with a lead, he's going to try to let you find it. Mm-hmm. That's not going to happen anymore.
Gardner back in at first. And if the Rays continue to win series, then we'll have 3 months of playoff type managing by Joe Maddon. And right here you see the Rays since the 11th of June have the best record in the American League East. That's the tempo they need to keep up. One ball, 2 strikes to Ellsbury.
Well, every game that these guys win, every half a game that gets shaved off of their deficit, more excited they are to get to the ballpark the next day and do something else great. That just leads to that excitement, and I think that's when you say you can see this team is different. That's what you're looking at.
Price misses upstairs, hitting 94 with the fastball. It's 2-2. When Ellsbury came over as a free agent after leaving Boston, a lot of people thought he would be the everyday leadoff guy here. In fact, he's turned out to be their number 3 hitter by a little more than a 2-1 margin in the games he's hit third versus being in the leadoff spot. Ground ball towards short. Zobrist will have to charge it and go to first. No play at second. Gardner moving up there. Ellsbury's the second out.
Man, probably the majority of the games that he was hitting leadoff is when Gardner was out of the lineup. He's one of their most productive hitters, and that's why Jacoby Ellsbury can hurt you a lot of different ways in that lineup. And it's on a lineup that, you know, coming in to play 15 teams in the American League, you know, they're down in the bottom third in runs scored. Pretty close in average and on base percentage. Just the offense just has not been able to get it going despite the names in it.
Here's Mark Teixeira hitting .242 with 15 home runs. He lines it foul. That's out of play for a strike. Well, with the idea of the Rays trying to make a rush here over the next 3 months, Todd Callis will be visiting with Andrew Friedman, the Rays Executive VP of Baseball Operations, in the next inning. And we'll look forward to hearing what Andrew Friedman has to say. Pitch inside. Of course, the big question, what happens with David Price? And Price, I think, pretty much feels as long as the Rays keep winning, he's going to be around here. And there were comments by Stu Sternberg today that apparently echoed that. They're not in a hurry to make a deal as long as this team continues to win. One ball, 2 strikes. That's a pretty good position to adopt regardless. You're trying to maximize what comes back the other way.
Yeah.
But I think this is legitimate. The Rays feel, even though they're 36 and 49 coming into play tonight, because of the nature of this American League East, they still have a shot. A lot of things have to go right, but they still have a shot in their minds. Did he go? He did not on the appeal down to Paul Schreiber.
Well, I'd like to take a look at that. That fastball up in the zone to Shera. He's going to start towards it. Does he get it stopped in time? Yes, he does. Good call by Paul Schreiber. When you start going after a pitch up in the zone like that, strong man to hold back.
It's a 2-2 count. Rice trying to pitch around the leadoff walk. Line drive into left. That's going to hang up and be caught by Joyce to retire the side. On to the second inning. No score from New York.
For the Rays, and we're joined by the Rays Executive Vice President of Baseball Operations, Andrew Friedman. Andrew, as we begin the month of July, have things changed a little bit in terms of your strategy going in towards the trade deadline based on the recent play?
Well, first and foremost, obviously we love the attitude of the team and just the way we're going about it. Obviously, when we got to the middle of June, we're in a place that all of us were disappointed about. But the way the guys have battled has shown us a lot about them. But I think, like every year when you get into the beginning part of July, your focus is on guys that you want to acquire. And so we have a list of guys that we like, and we're making phone calls about guys that fit us for this year, guys that have a longer tail, that are young players. And so It just varies by the year, but it's a very, very busy time of year.
Normally, as James Looney flies out to left field, you're looking for guys that can help you for this year and in the future. If you get into a situation, and maybe this becomes more crystal clear when we get closer to the All-Star break, do you consider making deals that only help you in the future if you don't think you can jump every other team in the AL?
Well, I mean, that's obviously an assessment that we have to make, and it's constantly evolving. I think when the process starts with the trade deadline, so kind of right after the draft, the focus is on players that you like. And so some of them are prospects, some of them are guys that are in the big leagues, and we're making calls and trying to figure out what the price is on those players. And conversely, teams are calling us and saying, hey, we have interest in X, Y, and Z. And so then you collect all the notes and start synthesizing them and figuring out what things are more real than others. And layered on top of that is where you are and what your prospects are for that year.
When you talk about volume of calls to this point, how would you gauge this season compared to what an average year has been?
I think it's pretty comparable. I mean, I think for the most part, after the draft until you get to July 1st, teams are checking in with all 29 other teams and collecting information. And sometimes you're circling back. But for the most part, I think it's been pretty consistent.
Have the majority of the calls or texts or emails been about the guy who's on the mound tonight for you guys?
Well, I mean, we have a lot of really good players, and so we've gotten calls on a number of guys, and not just guys on our big league team. We've gotten calls on some guys in our minor league system, and similar to what we do, teams that have interest in some of our guys will lob in calls, and some of them are some of our best players, and some are guys who are coming up through our system.
Based on the track record, David's seen what has happened in the past with this organization. How do you think he has handled what he is dealing with? Because he has talked about how he realizes he's a target at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a tough situation. The human nature of this, and take it to any player. I think when you're traded, you have to uproot your life and you have to move, across the country, whatever it is. And I think sometimes we lose appreciation for that. These are baseball players. That's just what happens. But there's a human element to it that's very real, and it can't be easy for players to go through a season or an off season and rumors and things that go with it. So I think he's handled it extremely well. It's not easy.
Logan Forsythe continues his fine hitting lately with a one-out single, and Cole Figueroa, tonight's DH, is at the plate. When you look at overall what David Price brings to the table and the strikeouts off the charts, is he pitching for you better now than maybe, or as well, I guess, as he did in the Cy Young season?
Yeah, I think so. It's funny. People are making a big to-do about the drop in velo and confusing that with a drop in stuff. The hitters are saying that there's no drop in stuff.
Right.
He's missing bats at a higher rate than he ever has. The ability to mix pitches, not just in the strike zone, but both away from righties, in on righties. I think he's using the inside part of the plate against righties much more effectively than he ever has. And so the combination of the four pitches and his ability to use it, I think is the best we've ever seen.
You know better than anybody, this team has not been able to sustain a run beyond maybe a week, and that's where we are right now. You talked about always assessing this team. As Figueroa pops one up, it may be a fair ball. Now it's going to stay foul, but it's caught either way as Solarte makes the play. Does this team have, you said you continue to assess, does this team have to show you before the All-Star break something, or else it looks like there's just too big of a hill to climb?
Well, what's funny is that, coming into the year, I think to a man, we were all extremely confident about our chances of playing competitive games in September. We got off to a less than desirable start, but the confidence in the players that we had in terms of their abilities, even as we have gotten to the midway point and assessed what's happened, I don't think any fundamental changes in terms of the way we value our players. And so the collective whole of that group we still really believe in. That's the good side. The bad side is we are where we are, and obviously we've dug ourselves quite a hole. But we still feel like we're an extremely talented team that has a chance to win a lot of games. And so whether that's enough to make up for this, I don't know. I don't know the answer to it, but right now all of our focus is just on putting our head down and trying to win series.
I've got to think at this point, based on the congestion in the standings, there's a lot of buyers and not many sellers.
Yeah, I think so. It's interesting is that, the way that prospects have become valued, they're so overvalued in a lot of ways, and it's something that not just if we're trading one of our guys, but even just prospect deals are interesting because I think by nature teams always kind of overestimate their own players, and then you tack onto that the value of prospect these days.
Andrew, we always appreciate the time. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we'll be back with more 0-0 as we head to the bottom half of the segment. Sun Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. By Checkers, big Philly flavors, small price. Checkers Philly cheesesteak, $1.99. And by T-Mobile Tuesday Night Baseball. A look back toward Manhattan from the Bronx. Carlos Beltran leads off the bottom of the second. The first pitch inside, 1 ball, no strikes. Beltran, the veteran switch hitting designated hitter right now. He's had an elbow and forearm issue. And late there. 1-1. Alfonso Soriano will follow, and then Brian Roberts. Yankees had a base runner in the first, left Gardner at second after he opened with a walk. And strike two, 1-2.
You know what's going to be interesting to watch today? David Price, his swing and miss percentage is higher by a wide margin than any point in his career. His fastball in the month of June swing and miss percentage was the highest in all of Major League Baseball at about 32%.
And there's strike three call. He gets Beltran looking on the pitch on the corner. In.
Well spotted on this particular fastball, and no swing from Beltran. But that is the third element of those numbers. The New York Yankees, one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in all of Major League Baseball on elevated heaters. And we've seen David go up in the zone tonight by design a number of times already. You see, like right there, this team just cannot handle the fastball up in the zone, up and down that lineup.
Well, in between Price and Hickey, you know there's a pretty good game plan coming out of those two. The other thing, and we just touched on this with Marquez, he can be pretty conservative with his strike zone, but the breakout on him is that against right-handed hitters, he's a little more pitcher friendly with a right-handed hitter in there than with a left-handed hitter in there.
And that has to do more than likely with probably set up where he's at, how he views them. Yeah, it's interesting when you start to break down umpires. And I guarantee you, with all these advanced metrics on pitchers, pitch selection, amount of movement, arm angle, there's metrics on umpires too.
You would absolutely have to think so.
There's a guy somewhere in a basement in front of a computer watching games, logging pitches on Alfonso Marquez, Ted Barrett, trying to find.
There's a line drive to third, and Longoria makes the catch on that. Yep, he's recording all those pitches and being fortified by Mom's Meatloaf. Two gone with the bases empty. And Brian Roberts about to step in. Roberts hit the big home run last night that eventually sent this game into extra innings.
Listen, you know what? Since you hit on it, we're going to go there. Have you ever heard of a more disgusting dish than meatloaf? I mean, think about that. Yeah, the band, the sing, it may be fine, but as far as you meat in a pan and you bake it. And listen, we when I was growing up, we had like 6 dishes that we would just rotate. They just kind of rotated and kept them, right through the year. And meatloaf was one of them.
Yeah.
And it was horrible every single time.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that
your mother watches these telecasts.
I'm going to get buried for this. I understand that.
Yeah.
But the concept of meatloaf just doesn't sound like something anybody should be really interested in.
I agree with you maybe on the concept. The execution, if it's done properly, can be pretty good. Well, and I would venture to say that your mother could make great meatloaf.
Well, as far as meatloaf goes, but even great meatloaf is still meatloaf.
I just hope I still have a partner after you talk to her next.
Yeah, I'm really. It came off a lot worse than it was. Than it meant to.
I mean,
let's put it this way. On a relative scale, if meatloaf could be a 10, she would put out a 10. The problem is it's still meatloaf, and relative to other foods, that's like a 3 or 4.
Good try, but I'm afraid I'll still find you in the basement.
Begging for the meatloaf. Me and Chaz.
Yeah, there you go. 2 outs, nobody on, and Price ahead in the count. Misses with that pitch, and it's 2-2.
I'm going to move my phone off the desk here so you can't hear it buzzing.
Yeah, I see smoke coming out from that phone right now. I tried to save you.
Yeah, that was a bad move.
Now the 2-2. Oh, he got him looking right there. Strike 3. And 1-2-3 go the Yankees in the second. Couple to call, third strikes. We'll go to the third. No score. All season long, Tires Plus donates $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Tampa Bay Rays home run televised on Sun Sports. Kevin Kiermaier had a good night last night, belting his 7th home run of the year in the 3rd inning in a 3-2 pitch out of here off David Phelps. Added a couple singles before the night was over, a 3-hit night. And he bunts right side, and Kuroda off the mound with a pickup. And the underhanded toss to first retires Kiermaier, trying to bunt his way on to start the inning.
And you know what I like? And he was thrown out there, but I like the fact that Kevin Kiermaier, in introducing the bunt as part of his game here at the big league level, is doing it up the third base line and taking it with him. So he is not predictable with it. When he squares around, you're not sure. Is he going up third? Is he going to try to pull it with him? That is going to help him get more hits doing that. You know, if every time you square late, it's just to one side, you're a lot easier to defend. Not the case with Kevin.
There's Desmond Jennings. The pitch is a strike.
And by the way, up to 4 Meatloaf texts already, and Mom is not one of them.
Sometimes she just records and watches later, you know. Sometime in the middle of the night you could get a call. 1-1 the count.
Another
knock on the door.
It's not that far of a flight. Goodness.
It's too low. 2-1. Well, you know, it's interesting the conversation that Todd had with Andrew Friedman about what's going on, and pretty much a breakout of this time of year in any case. You know, those conversations go on, as Andrew mentioned. The big question is, how do they assess this team and where it can go this year from this point forward? Is it possible? Is it probable? Is it doable? Should they keep Price? Those are all the questions that they're going to have to answer. And there aren't any easy answers. There's a strike call on that outside part of the plate. Jennings caught looking.
Now you wait for the 2-strike split. How about the 2-strike slider? Right there to the outside corner, well located by Kuroda.
2 up, 2 down. And there is a route that this club could take that could get them there, but it's not an easy drive.
It's the road less traveled.
It is the road less traveled. Yes, it is. And it'll be interesting to see, but right now this club shows signs of at least making that turn and heading in that direction.
The reason I like their ability to make some noise and to make it interesting and to make that run is the dominance of their pitching staff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they're capable of. You know, up and down the starting rotation, and we saw Eric Bedard, his last time out was the best that we've seen him. Jake Odorizzi's become a strikeout machine.
Yep.
Archer can dominate. Price can dominate. Alex Cobb, he's not even right yet, and he can dominate.
Mm-hmm.
And then that bullpen. You know, if a guy does struggle early, you get him out of there, you go to that bullpen, and there's a lot of zeros out there. So the fact that and this team, by the way, leads the major leagues in strikeouts by a pretty good margin.
Yep.
So the dominance of the pitching rotation, for me, is what gives it hope and the difference in the offense.
Yeah, that in combination with the state of the nation as the American League East is concerned. Ground ball, and that's handled by Roberts, and the Rays are up and down 1-2-3. More in the bottom of the 3rd, no score. Sun Sports is brought to you by Tampa Bay Radiation Oncology. When cancer strikes, strike back with CyberKnife. Available exclusively at Tampa Bay Radiation Oncology. And by Deliver Us from Evil in theaters July 2nd. Rays in New York. Up in the Bronx at Yankee Stadium. We go into the bottom of the third inning with no score. 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up for New York. You know, we're talking about the state of the American League East, and that's the one thing that would keep hope alive for the Rays. There's no one still to this point that has taken complete charge in the American League East. Longoria will throw out Cervelli.
You know, and here's the thing. When you put together a prolonged winning streak, more times than not, it's because of pitching. You know, it's because your pitching goes out there and is able to get something going, you know, for a long period of time. I mean, the bats can heat up and you can have a nice 3 or 4 game stretch, but to have it really elongated, you need to have the pitching. And I think as far as dominating pitching goes, the Rays have it more than any other team in this division, from starter number 1 to the last member of the bullpen. Mm-hmm. And you're right, the rest of that bullpen, or the rest of that division, just hasn't done much of anything except try to get out of each other's way.
And, you know, there was a feel for that when the season started. We talked about how many wins it might take to win the East. And there were conversations that it would take 90. I remember talking about it, thinking 89 wins might actually win the division. Now, the way it stacks up, it could actually be fewer than that.
Yeah.
I mean, 88, maybe 87 wins the division. And if that's the case, the Rays are going to have to play some great baseball and let the East pretty much play itself out. But if because of their pitching, they can sustain a 3-month period, they could actually get to the point where they might win 85, 86 games. And I think Andrew was talking about, well, what would it take to do that? Here's what it would take to do that. They need to go 15-8 in July, 18-11 in August, and 17-8 in September to give them 86 wins.
That's not out of the question at all. And here's the other formula, part of the formula. Like you said, they're going to have to play great baseball. They're going to have to play exceptional baseball within the division. That's where you're going to make your move.
And if you had to pick one team in the East, I think for the reasons that you highlighted, that might be able to do that and have the final months that we just described, it would be this club because of the pitching. Solarte called out on strikes.
If they're not coming to the altar after that, they're not coming, Wayne. They're not coming.
Well, is it possible? Yes, it's possible. What do you have to do to get there? That's what you have to do to get there. And now you have to figure out, is it probable within the realm of reality that that could happen? You got to ask yourself. And if you say yes, then you're going for it. And if you say no, well, then you reevaluate and do whatever you're going to do with personnel. There's a strike to Brett Gardner. 2 up, 2 down here. And on top of that, and I don't think they got an opportunity, Todd and Andrew, to pay off that 1 point Andrew was making. The other challenge is the overvaluation of prospects now by everybody in baseball. Everybody thinks, well, we've got this guy, AA or AA, wherever, and he's really something. Well, it might make it tough to make a deal because of that. And that is an issue that everybody faces. That takes the count to a ball and 2 strikes on Brett Gardner. I mean, you put starting rotation of at the top, Price and Cobb. We had Archer last night. Bedard's pitched well. Odorizzi's really stepped up and found an identity as a pitcher. You could reel off some wins with that, and then the bullpen being what it is.
Well, how about the stat yesterday from the beginning? I think it was the beginning of June last year through you know, Chris Archer's start, his last start, and it was David Price and Chris Archer had combined over that year span to make 68 starts. There was only one other tandem that made 68 starts together, and that was Guthrie and Shields in Kansas City. And only one other tandem in that time, not even making 68 starts, but only other tandem to have a lower ERA than those two guys, you know, was Kershaw and Greinke out with the Dodgers. And that's not even adding Cobb into that mix.
Mm-hmm.
So now you got a potential big three that could really do some damage.
Yep.
You know, and
So it could still be fun.
yeah.
It could be really interesting in the East what happens going forward. With the caveat that they're going to have to win series after series. A pop-up, Price making the call now, Longoria over from third to grab it. And it's 1-2-3 here in the third. On to the fourth, no score. Yankees are scoreless. Our Buick big matchup. Take a look at Matt Joyce. His career matchup against Hiroki Kuroda includes 3 home runs and a .353 average. That's after the strikeout in the first inning of this game when Kuroda got him with a split. Pitch is down. 1 ball, no strike. Interesting that breakout we talked about with Marquez, where if a pitcher's going to get a break, it's probably with a right-handed hitter. And you look at all the strikeouts, break them down lefty, righty. Hey, there's a little tap left side. He's going to get a base hit out of that. They had the shift on, and Solarte was over by second base and couldn't get there in time. And so Joyce has his first hit tonight.
Well, you're going to play the shift on Matt Joyce. You had better pitch to the shift, and watch where this pitch is. Everybody globbed up on the right side. The pitch is away. Just tap it over there. Take a base hit, especially leading off the inning.
The Rays with a base runner, breaking down that Marquez maybe a little friendlier to the pitcher with a right-handed hitter. 3 strikeouts for Price, all call third strikes to right-handed hitters. There's a line drive by Longoria into left. Joyce going to head to third. Gardner's throw not in time, and it's first and third. Aggressive base running by the Rays and Matt Joyce to set up this situation.
Everything was out in front of Matt Joyce, and he could see that Brett Gardner was not hustling to that ball off the bat of Evan Longoria, and he took full advantage of it. You know, a hanging breaking ball. Evan shoots it to left. Joyce is going to take off and watch. He looks out there and sees Brett Gardner. Oh, he's not going to go after it hard. I'm going to take advantage. Well done.
So the Rays threatened in the 4th inning. And here's James Looney. So for the first time in this game, either team has a man as far as 3rd. Looney leads the Rays in runs batted in with 41. Pitch is in. 1 ball, no strikes. Kuroda wanted that pitch, didn't get it. One. Takes the count to 1-2. Now down just beyond the front of the Yankee dugout. Rays had a base runner in the 1st, left him aboard. Left a man on in the 2nd, out 1, 2, 3 in the 3rd. 1st and 3rd to start the 4th. Into the dirt. Bounced in front of the plate.
That's at least 3 times we've seen Kuroda do that with 2 strikes with that split finger. Really trying to be fine with that pitch and get it down below the zone, and really overcompensating with his release point. Puts a great burden on Cervelli, especially now with the runner on 3rd. But he comes up big once again.
This one a cut and a miss by Looney, so he came right back with it, and Kuroda gets him on strikes.
More presentable, and another nice job by Cervelli to keep it in front of him.
Boy, if that pitch hits the front of the plate, you don't know where it's going, and it almost did.
Yeah, you're right. There's a little bit of a ridge there, and so it hits that, and it could, Rays could have a run right now.
1 out with men at 1st and 3rd. It'll bring up the Rays' second baseman, Logan Forsythe. Forsythe coming into this one over his last 10 games, hitting over 450, and Logan's run has come before time has run out for the Rays. At the most opportune time for him to get hot and contribute. Had the deciding RBI in last night's game. For Toyota Trend, you can see the first 49 games versus the last 10, and it's night and day.
And starting here in the 11th game, a nice start as he lined a ball out into right field, right center field with 2 strikes. His approach right now at the plate is very good, and obviously Logan Forsythe, based on those numbers, playing with a lot of confidence. That is such the battle at this level. It leads to the numbers that were in the first column, the lack of, and second column, that's a guy puffing his chest out, feeling pretty good about what he's doing.
Two balls, no strikes. Two and one. Rays now with 4 hits. And their first scoring opportunity with back-to-back singles, setting up a first and third, now one-out situation in the fourth. Ground ball headed toward the middle, through into center for a base hit. That will score Joyce, and the Rays take a 1-0 lead. Logan Forsythe continues his timely hitting and drives in the first run tonight.
Well, going right back up the middle. Inside the baseball. Stay inside the baseball. He catches the mound. That's the only thing that gives the Yankees a chance right there. Is you see Brian Roberts trying to get to that. Cannot do it. Now he's driven in the last two Rays runs, going right back up the middle.
There's Cole Figueroa, who's the DH, 27-year-old infielder. 27 yesterday. One strike to count. And a fly ball, shallow center. Ellsbury's going to be there and makes the catch. They had him played in across the outfield, and that gave Ellsbury the time to get there. 2 outs with men at first and second with a run home. And here is Jose Molina. Strike. Kuroda lifetime against the Rays, 2-3 with a .694 earned run average in 6 prior starts. Molina started to go and did. Says Paul Schreiber.
Well, there was so much movement on that ball that ran in and kind of tied up Jose Molina. See a lot going on right there, and that bat coming way too far out.
And he's out on strikes. Kuroda takes care of him on 3 pitches. The Rays get the go-ahead run and lead 1-0.
Friedman earlier if David Price was more likely to stay if the Rays' recent play continued. Here's David Price's thoughts on the same question.
It could possibly decrease the chance that I do get traded, yes, but and there's going to be stories written and speculation no matter what. But if we continue to play good baseball the way that we have and continue to win, we feel like we have a shot. So I don't think that I think that would lessen my chances of getting traded.
David went on to say he hopes he never gets traded, and he certainly hopes he never gets traded to an AL East team, because he said the worst team he'd ever have to face are the friends of his on the Tampa Bay Rays, guys.
All right, Todd, thank you. Derek Jeter's going to lead off the bottom of the fourth. Jeter, Ellsbury, and Teixeira. One strike the count. Jeter shoots this one deep to center field. That's going to bounce to the wall. He's on his way to second and will stop with a double. Jeter popping that one.
Well, every once in a while, Derek Jeter will pick his spot to take a big rip. And a fastball, or actually that was a curveball meant to be in, stayed up and out over the plate. Everything speeds up from that point, and he got into that ball pretty good to center field.
Well, a two-base hit for Derek Jeter, and this in his final season. He has caught Lou Gehrig in Yankee history for two-base hits with 534. Jeter on second base to lead off the fourth. And Jacoby Ellsbury. Pitch is high. 1 ball and no strikes. Jeter catches Gehrig in doubles on the day before the Yankees will commemorate the 75th anniversary of Lou Gehrig's luckiest man speech. Up the middle, shot past the diving Zobrist. Jeter stops at third. He had to wait. So it's first and third now.
Well, Derek Jeter knew where Ben Zobrist was playing, and that line drive was going to be close, not wanting to get caught too far off. Takes his secondary lead, line drive, knows where he's at. Okay, got to see it through. And it's only able to move up 90 feet. Let's hope that comes back to haunt the Yankees.
Here's Mark Teixeira, so the Yankees right back with a big threat, first and third. Nobody out in the bottom of the fourth. Teixeira sends a fly ball into right. Kiermaier lining up to make the catch. Throw's going to come to the plate, cut off by Looney as Jeter took a few steps down the line and put on the brakes. One gone.
Now Kiermaier, we know he's got a good arm, and Derek Jeter wisely stayed at third base because that throw was strong and it was on the money. See that momentum he gets towards home plate. He's got a quick release. That would have been, he'd have gotten to Jeter in a rundown.
Well, you saw Jeter's feet there in that one shot, and he went back to the bag. when Looney cut it off, he had a smile looking at Rob Thompson and Evan Longoria. He says, "Hey, I'm 40. I'm staying here."
He is a man now.
He is. First and third, still one out. And Carlos Beltran. Eye on Ellsbury over there. Price and Rays protecting a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the fourth. Jeter's at third, Ellsbury at first. No count yet to Carlos Beltran. And now a run and a move. They have Ellsbury in a rundown. The throw hits him, and that's going to allow Jeter to score. Ellsbury broke off first, and the Rays had him in the rundown. And in the process, the toss back headed for Looney. Instead, hit Ellsbury.
I don't know how you do this. See, Looney clears. Get rid of it to Ben. Now he can read Jeter, and then just right there, he just throws it right into him.
So Ellsbury, who was breaking, will get a steal, and that's an error charged to Zobrist.
You know, the key will be in taking a look at that replay again. After Looney feeds to Zobrist, where does Looney go? Because you still got to create a throwing lane for Ben Zobrist. Ultimately, he's going to throw it to Looney. And if Looney's in direct line, let's take a look at it right here again. Looney clears, helps him as a lefty. Now get rid of it so Ben can read everything. And now he's in direct line with Ellsbury. That throw still, I think Ben's got to be able to get that over top of Ellsbury. Well, he just choked that throw and hit him right in the back. That's how you used to do it, like in the third grade.
Yeah, you're out if the ball hits you. 1-1. Well,
Yeah.
What the Rays would hope would be the worst thing that would happen is that you chase Ellsbury back to first, and there's still men first and third, and let's start over. Well, that got beyond that on the worst thing that could happen scale. Game tied 1-1. A strike on the inside part of the plate.
Now the entire plate open to David Price. He can come back in there with that same pitch, and there's nothing that Carlos Beltran's going to be able to do about it. But because of that pitch, he now has the whole outer half open too, especially down.
And Alfonso Marquez, a little conversation going with the Yankee dugout. So he's pretty direct in his conversation with the Yankees along the railing. Drive hit the center. Jennings there to make the catch on the track. Ellsbury heads to third and will be held there, advancing after the catch. So 2 outs now in a tie game with a man at third, and Alfonso Soriano headed to the plate. Soriano lined to third his first time. Price comes in with the fastball, gets that call again. And Price, to right-handed hitters, has gotten that call in there tonight. That's what had the Yankee dugout chirping at Alfonso Marquez in the Beltran at bat. 0-2 the count on Soriano. Joe Girardi and Tony Pena on the railing. Fouled out of play. So it's still 2 strikes.
You can see with the setup of Soriano, a little bit of a closed stance, active with his hands. He wants to get those arms extended, and he would like nothing more than to be able to do that on a ball that's down and out over the plate. And that's why you see Price trying to crowd him in with that fastball at 95, 96. See where he's swinging right now? That's where he wants the baseball.
And he swings through it, a foul-tipped strikeout. Fastball in at 96. 1 run scores. The man left. We're headed into the 5th. The Rays have a run and the Yankees have a run. Soriano strikes out to retire the side. Love rock and roll. Don't miss the Joan Jett and the Blackhearts post-game concert Saturday, July 12th. First catch the Rays take on the Blue Jays, and stick around to see Joan Jett sing some of her biggest hits, including I Love Rock and Roll and Bad Reputation. For tickets, visit raysbaseball.com/concerts or call 888-FAN-RAYS. Kevin Kiermaier leads off the 5th and looks at a called strike. He's out trying to bunt his way on. First time up as Kuroda came down off the mound to make the play. Bouncer first base, and that'll be handled unassisted by Teixeira. That's the first out in the 5th.
Well, I don't think anybody, when Kevin Kiermaier came to the big leagues, would anticipate the kind of effect that he would have on this team's offense. Knew that he was a good defender. You know, that's what the reputation that he came with. With what he's done on the offensive end, that's why you see his name penciled in there just about every day.
Yeah, he has given them a big lift to the tune of 7 home runs. His on-base percentage is over 360. His slugging percentage over 600. in the sampling the Rays have gotten from him. That's a fair ball off the bat of Jennings down toward the left field corner, and Desmond's on his way to second with his 19th double of the year. You know, you think about Kiermaier and you look at his minor league numbers. He had a total of 6 home runs last year between Montgomery and Durham. So he's having his best power year ever just in the short time he's been with the Rays.
I've never seen anything like it. I really have not seen a guy who, you know, had the numbers that he had in the minor leagues come up and put up not only the numbers as far as average, but just the home runs, the power.
Well, look at the start he's gotten and compare that to Longoria and Will Myers,
who came up here with the idea of run producer, middle of the order type of guys who had proven it at the minor league level and were very productive in those roles down there. Kiermaier every bit as good.
And of course you hope as player development goes that, you know, players will continue to get better and better, but this has been remarkable. He had 2 home runs in over 200 at bats his first year in pro ball, which was 2010. He had 4 the next year. Didn't hit a home run in 2012, and then in 2013 hit 6 home runs total.
So what's the grand total of what? 12, 13?
Hit 12 home runs in the minor leagues.
12.
Yeah,
he's
before this year.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to cover the big leagues in a little over a month. Pop 7.
Yeah.
And by the way, no cheapies.
No.
He's hitting them.
You know, that's the only thing. You try to figure this out. And the one thing he does, he concentrates on trying to hit the ball hard. Well, that makes sense. You know, and he hits a lot of line drives, and the ground balls he hits sometimes he hits hard. But he hits line drives and turns them into long fly balls.
What was he concentrating on in the minor leagues?
Well, that who knows? I mean, certainly not what we've seen here.
No.
Here's Matt Joyce with men at first and second. Zobrist walking on 4 pitches. That's a strike call. Reminds me of the wisdom of the former right-hander Joaquin Andujar. He said you can sum this game up in one word. You never know.
Of course.
2 men on, 1 out. One ball, 1 strike. So the Rays right back with a threat in the 5th inning. Matt Joyce up here. He scored the run for the Rays in the 4th. Ground ball right side, ranging far to his left, Roberts. They get the out at second on the toss back to Jeter. Jennings goes to third. So it's first and third with 2 outs, and Evan Longoria coming to the plate.
Well, no chance here for a double play. Everything's going to take a little too long, and Roberts to his left, inside turn back to Jeter. Cut down that runner at second base and allow just 1 into scoring position.
Evans singled in the 4th. Came in 7 of 17 lifetime against Kuroda. And he lays off that pitch. Breaking down and away from him.
I think Kuroda was trying to take advantage that, you know, that was the same pitch, not the same location, but the same pitch that he lined to left for a base hit. So Kuroda moves it a little further away from him, hoping for that same swing and something off the end of the bat. No biting.
This one popped up. Roberts from second. The Rays lead 2. Bottom of the 5th coming. We're tied 1-1. Frost brewed Coors Light. Talked about that strikeout ratio. Brett Saberhagen holding the major league record for the strikeout to walk ratio in a single season back in 1994, 11. David Price at 9.87 updated. And that's almost otherworldly there, that ratio. It's a strike, cut and a miss by Brian Roberts.
You'd like it in that 2-3 to 1,
yeah,
in that range. You get up to 5 to 1, and it's like you're at a different level. And then that is just, well.
And 2 quick strikes on Roberts.
Typically, the guys who run up those kind of strikeout numbers have great stuff. And the guys that have great stuff don't always have the best command. And so you just very rarely see both of them put together.
It's Joyce out there in left taking care of Roberts' fly ball. Check his strikeout performance tonight so far.
Well, fastball has played a big role. There's a good one in called. Another one, that glove side fastball, so often very important for David Price, and it really is tonight. And then he was able to pop that fastball by Soriano on a pitch that was away, set up by the hard fastball in.
Yeah, and that pitch in to the right-handed hitter is the one that the Yankees had been squawking about from their dugout. The strike to Cervelli.
And they're squawking because they are borderline pitches, and they're just about impossible to hit, especially with this lineup, because you've got to hit that fastball out in front, and you've got to bring that bat a long way. The barrel has to come a long way to get out in front close to you. So that means you really got to cheat and start it early. The ball that's away from you, you can still get the barrel to it, closer to the plate itself and shoot it the other way. The ball that's in, if you want to get the barrel to it, you got to get it started way early.
Yeah, you almost feel that the hitter has to be some kind of a contortionist to get to that pitch.
Yeah, you've got to be very good with your hands. Like that right there. That's why you act like that. Oh my gosh, it's so close to me. You're begging for that call because you know the difficulty of hitting that pitch if it's executed, especially at David's velocity.
Right there. Good luck. Throw your hands up.
He did. That's all you can do.
And strike three call. Boy, you follow it up with that. Strikeout number 5.
Well, and Cervelli's right now, he's saying you can't give him both of those. If the ball ends a strike, this can't possibly be. But look at that cut. Yes, it is. It's a good cutter. I mean, that's just lighting up a strike zone. Look at that. All 4 quadrants. Well, at least 3 of the 4. 1 quadrant twice. Let me try that in English.
We got the gist. Here's Solarte. He lines it, base hit. Jumping on the first pitch. Singles into center. He wasn't waiting around that time. He was called out on strikes the first time up there swinging at the first pitch.
Yeah, well, you know what? That has to be your approach off David Price. He's not going to walk many guys. You had better be ready to hit, or he's going to jump out you, 0-1, 0-2. So be ready to go. Now, the one thing that David has going for him are a lot of those strikes that he uses to get ahead are to the edges. And those are the pitches that typically, if you do swing at off David, you're going to have poor contact and more than likely make an out.
Top of the order, Brett Gardner. He has walked, fouled, or popped to third. Longoria actually caught the ball in fair territory. That's a strike. Rays about hit the Yankees 6-3, but the game is tied 1-1 in the bottom of the 5th. Foul down beyond McKelleher. Two-strike count. Price with 5 consecutive double-digit strikeout performances. He's never struck out 10 Yankees to the tune of at least 10 in a game. His career high against New York, 8, and he's done that 4 times. 5 strikeouts tonight. One ball, 2 strikes. Rays got a run in the 4th, and so did the Yankees. Two and two. And Gardner hits the deck, ducking that pitch, takes the count full. Two out base runner, Solarte, 3-2. He'll be off. The pitch, a cut and a miss. He blew the fastball by him at 95. We go to the 6th. We are still tied 1-1. The Yankees in the middle game in their 3-game series. Logan Forsythe continues his hot hitting with an RBI single up the middle in the 4th, scoring Matt Joyce. The Yankees came back against David Price for a run in their half of the inning. Price, meanwhile, has 6 strikeouts to go against 1 walk. And there's the run scoring on the rundown. The throw by Zobrist hit Ellsbury in the back, and that allowed Jeter to score. And we go to the 6th inning with James Looney leading off, and he gets under this one. That ball driven deep and out of here into right center field into the bullpen. Looney on the first pitch here in the 6th drives it deep and gone, and the Rays lead 2-1.
James Looney, every now and then, will pick his spots for a powerful swing. He did here, and how about this on a breaking ball? Breaking ball that just really doesn't have sharpness at the end, and it's down and in, and Looney catches it crisp. Puts it right into the Yankee bullpen.
Well, so much for prior history. Looney had gone 2 for 17 off Kuroda and jumped on the first pitch here in the 6th to give the Rays the lead with 1 swing of the bat. One-0 pitch to Forsythe is in for a strike. Now 1-1. Looney hit a home run in the Baltimore series off Chris Tillman. That was in the 2nd game of the day-night doubleheader in Baltimore Friday. A ball, 2 strikes to Forsythe. 2-2. Count is full. Kuroda 11 and 13 last year and really struggled to the finish line. Got off to a so-so start this year, but he's been better lately, and there is strike 3 called. So Forsythe, right-handed hitter, victimized by a called 3rd strike.
Now this is just perfect placement by Kuroda. Late movement, kind of up and in. Kind of buckles Forsythe just a little bit. I think he was expecting something out over the plate, away, maybe down.
Let's go Figueroa. Pitch is high. First 6 games of the year, Kuroda had an earned run average over 5, but the last 10 it's been just a little over 3.7. The Rays have 2 runs, 7 hits off him tonight as he pitches 1 out into the 6th.
4 of his last 5 starts have been quality starts, and actually out of his 16 starts, 12 of them 3 earned runs or fewer. Not a bad ratio at all, but the numbers just so coming in. 500 record, ERA over 4.
Figueroa up 3-0. Takes a strike. And a swing and a miss. He loses the bat. Comes out of there shaking that right hand.
Yeah, that did not look good.
The count is full, and he hurt that right hand, the wrist perhaps. Taking a look at the thumb, maybe. Paul Harker, the Rays training staff, along with Joe Madden. Figueroa taking a swing there to ensure that he's all right.
And you start talking hands, wrists with hitters.
Mm-hmm. So it's a full count for him now. He taps it right side. Off the mound to cover Corona. So 2 outs following the home run by Looney. Rivalries, giveaways, and concerts. The choice is yours with a Rays Flex Pack. Select any 3, 6, or 9 games and enjoy member-only rewards all season. Introductory prices start at just $49. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com today. It's Jose Molina 0 for 2 tonight. Swings through the first one, strike 1. Ground ball to third. Solarte makes a throw across the diamond. So the Rays are out in the 6th, but they take the lead on the home run by James Looney. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th, 2-1 Tampa Bay.
Jeff Beliveau, the newest member of the Rays roster, as he is added with Yunel Escobar going on the DL. Rays electing to go with an 8th man in the bullpen. Here you see the roster move. 3rd stint for Beliveau, and here's why he is the right guy, according to Joe Madden in our Geico quote.
We thought with him going on the DL, Escobar, that for right now especially, we needed to bolster the bullpen. And Beliveau's been doing really well. We've heard nothing but wonderful things about him, too. Remember, we talked about it in spring training. I thought Durham's going to have a pretty darn good bullpen, and they have, and the guys that have come up here have really helped us a lot. So, I mean, is it going to be short term? I'm not sure exactly. I think once our bullpen gets in order again, we could definitely, if we want to reconsider, we can.
So they'll have 3 lefties in the bullpen, 8 total. The other thing Joe said is right now with Geyer and Forsythe going so well, he doesn't feel a need to pinch hit for them, so he can afford to have a 3-man bench. Guys, back to you.
All right, one strike into the bottom of the sixth with Derek Jeter leading off. Facing David Price. And a base hit punch through the middle as Jeter's on again with his second hit. You know, there's a little baseball history between Price and Jeter. If you think about it, that double in the fourth inning, he caught Lou Gehrig on the all-time doubles list in Yankee history. And when David broke in with the Rays in 2008, he gave up a home run to Jeter in his debut, and that home run for Jeter tied him with Lou Gehrig for the most hits at Yankee Stadium. And then it was only, well, what, in 2011,
yep,
his 3,000th hit. Jeter only the second man to collect 3,000 hits, and with that hit a home run. Wade Boggs did that in a Rays uniform, technically a double Rays uniform. And Jeter did that and hit that one off Price. So at least 3 hits of some historic significance there in the matchup between Jeter and David Price. Strike the count to Ellsbury. Jeter at first. It's going to be out of play. Taking the count to strike 2. Good pitch count tonight for Price.
Most of the time it is, and you know that's part of his game plan. He has said, you know, he wants to be efficient because he knows that's what will lead him to allow himself to get it, you know, deep into a game. Have an efficient pitch count. He's, with all those strikeouts, still coming into this game just 15.2 pitches an inning, and that is the marquee number. You keep it right around there, it's going to allow you to pitch deep each and every time out there. And David has said, I want all 27 outs.
Just missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And that's what the really good ones do. They're not looking for a 5 and dive, you know, a quality start, get me through 6.
Yeah, and that's great to hear these days when complete games are a disappearing part of the game. I mean, dramatically off. Just you go from one decade to the next, and now where we are, difficult to find many complete games. It's fouled, holding the count at a ball, 2 strikes.
Well, the way that the game is right now, David Price, one of the best in being able to go and get them and get close. You know, his last 6 starts, we talked about his numbers, just a 2-3 record, but an ERA of 2.31 and all the strikeouts. In those 6 starts, he's gone at least 7 innings in all 6, and he's gone 8+ in 4 of the 6.
Yep. If you back that up to 7, 5 of those games, he's gone at least 8. The other 2, 7, and then 7 1/3. Jeter takes off, pitches high, throw, safe the call.
The only reason, and Joe's going to come out, we'll take a look at it on replay. The only reason that Jeter gets in there, if he does, is because the throw from Molina was to the shortstop side of second base. And that made the tag a lot longer. He gets rid of it quick, but the throw's on the wrong side of the bag. And it looks like Jeter was able to get that right hand to the back edge of the bag before the tag gets over to him. Right there. Tag applied right there.
So Joe has a friendly little get-together with Ted Barrett, the crew chief, who made that call, and got word that Jeter was in there with a steal.
Well, that's the thing too, when you're trying to steal those bags, or there's a play at a certain bag, you're running and you see the ball into the glove, and you instinctively are trying to fight your way to the other side of that base to force that tag to have to move a ways.
So now Jeter's in scoring position with nobody out. 2-2 the count on Jacoby Ellsbury. into the screen. Teixeira behind Ellsbury, and any deeper Beltran. He's got a run in the top of the inning on the home run by Looney. Yankees threaten in the bottom of the 6th. Three balls, 2 strikes. And there's a strike call. Ellsbury's out of there for strikeout number 7, and more importantly, the first big out here in the 6th.
Yeah, and didn't allow Ellsbury even the opportunity to move Derek Jeter up. And it's an off-speed pitch, 85, and just freezes him. Ellsbury knew it, frustrated. A good pitch there by David. Big strikeout on a tough hitter.
One away. Teixeira takes the high fastball. 7 strikeouts for Price. 1 out in the 6th. A strike. David with 7. Trying to get to 6 consecutive 10-plus strikeouts. Hasn't been done since Randy Johnson did it for the Diamondbacks in 2002. Two balls and a strike. Hasn't been done in the American League since 1999 when Pedro Martinez pitched for the Red Sox. It's pretty good company there for David Price.
Some of the elites of the game.
Two and one the count on Teixeira. Three balls and a strike. And that's high. Second walk allowed by Price. Sets up in at first and second for Beltran. It's now time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag SunSportsFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. Jim Hickey with an eye toward the mound as Price and Molina talk it over. Longoria coming over from third. Reminder, tomorrow Wednesday night showdown presented by Mazda. The Rays take on the New York Yankees. We'll be with you at 12:30 right here on Sun Sports tomorrow afternoon. Carlos Beltran. There's a strike. Off speed in there for Price. Cut, the foul ball. 2. Sheriff first, Jeter up at second. High fly ball. Jennings in center making the catch. The runners hold. First and second now with 2 outs. Alfonso Soriano is the next hitter.
One more out from getting out of this. David Price, not a whole lot of margin for error.
Rays holding a 1-run lead. Price struck out Soriano on a 96-mile-per-hour fastball in the 4th. Relined to Longoria in the 2nd inning.
And he can always be dangerous, but if David Price makes his pitches and stays out of Soriano's hot zone with something soft. You see right there, he's trying to tie him up again with that fastball, and that's a good idea because Soriano wants to swing at that pitch. But right now, if David gets it up there at 95, 96 and gets it to its correct spot, he is not going to be able to get there.
Soriano, 38 years old. Between the Cubs and the Yankees last year, he hit 34 home runs and drove in 101 runs. It's been a struggle for him recently. 1-1, came into this game hitting .228. Pitch innings so far for Price. It's his high pitch count in any one inning tonight. There's a strike on the inside part of the plate, and Soriano not happy with that call. Price has been in there all night and has gotten that call.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's been established, and anything that is close or borderline, more than likely the benefit of the doubt is going to go to David.
High fly ball back toward the corner and drifting foul out of play. It's a towering fly ball, but here in this ballpark, in this stadium, if you hit it high and one of those fly balls down the line, either in left or right, you've got a chance for it to drop out of here.
Well, 318 down the left field line, 314 down the right, and down the right field line as it heads out to the gap, it stays shorter longer. Left field, it goes from 318 out to 399. But this is where David Price really ought to think about that fastball up and away again. saw how Soriano had to cheat to get to that fastball up and in. I would go up and away with good heat right here.
He goes up there and too high. Soriano checked, and it's a 2-2 count. Two 7-1 for the Rays, 1-4-0 for New York. And he got him looking. He backdoored it. Soriano caught looking. That's strikeout number 8. The Yankees leave 2 and do not score. We're headed into the 7th with the Rays leading 2-1. Now having a prolonged discussion with Alfonso Marquez, and I'm not sure if someone's been run from their bench or not. His last pitch, a called third strike. There have been a lot of those pitches in for strikes, and that time Price backdoored it. So there was some earlier disagreement from the Yankee bench with Marquez that got a little heated. So we're through 6 with the Rays leading 2-1. Right now, it's Kevin Kiermaier taking a pitch down. 1 ball, no strikes. So we think that Kevin Long, their hitting coach, may have been ejected just by the looks of things, but we haven't confirmed that yet. Big cut and a miss by Kiermaier. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, you got to assume it was somebody for Joe Girardi to go out there and have the discussion with Marquez that he did, because if he went out there on his own, he probably would have been run. You can't argue those balls and strikes.
Kiermaier, a chopping swing at that one, and he is out on strikes. 1 gone in the 7th. Speaking of being gone, I'm glad you're still here. You did hear from your mother.
I did, and you know what? Here, let me get the exact text so I don't miss anything. And it said, "You're an idiot." So there you have it.
Well, and that came from the authority.
I'm hoping she meant it in good fun.
I'm sure she did.
I'm sure I will find out later.
One strike to count. She's a quality lady, and I'm sure it's her way of making a point, but with good humor. One ball, one strike. Jennings rolls it to Jeter. It's short. Oh, 2 up and 2 down in the 7th. Shield yourself from the Florida rain with the Rays umbrella. You can get this exclusive item only by purchasing the Tampa Bay Times ticket tandem to the game Friday, July 11th. So get your ticket tandem now by visiting RaysBaseball.com/tandem or by calling 888-FAN-RAYS. Here's Ben Zobrist, 0 for 2. He walked in the 5th. Pitch is over, but low. Kuroda, a little over 90 pitches, 2 outs in the 7th. One and one. Ben started the night 5 of 15 against the Yankee right-hander in his career with 2 home runs. Lines it into center. That hangs up for Ellsbury. And it's a quick top half of the 7th. Rays lead 2-1. Welcome back to New York. We're in the Bronx at Yankee Stadium. Great to have you with us. David Price and Hiroki Kuroda hooked up in this one. The difference in the game, James Loney's 6th inning home run. So we're headed into the bottom of the 7th. The Rays got a run in the 4th. New York a run in the 4th, and the Rays another one in the 6th. And James Loney connected off Kuroda. David Price tonight with 8 strikeouts, pursuing his 7th win, 97 pitches. You see the 6th inning, his high pitch count inning with 24. going to be Brian Roberts to lead off the bottom of the 7th inning. He's the guy who hit the home run in the 9th inning with 1 out last night to tie it. That made it a 3-3 ball game. Connecting off Joel Peralta. Tonight he has struck out and flied out.
Well, Kuroda has kept the Yankees within striking distance, but David Price has kept them at bay. Throwing the ball well, getting out of that jam that he had in the bottom of the 6th.
First pitch lifted into shallow left center. And it's going to be Jennings at the last moment. Oh my goodness. Joyce appeared ready to catch it. Then I think he gave way to Jennings, and Jennings wasn't necessarily anticipating that until the last moment.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on there. That was that would have been really bad here. Matt Joyce ready to catch it.
I'm glad one of them caught it.
Yes.
Boy, that would have been ugly.
Oh, that was ugly, but effective.
Francisco Cervelli.
Desmond Leak.
Cervelli caught looking in the 5th. One strike to count. Get a left-hander up in the bullpen, the Yankees do. David Huff. Two strikes. Ball, 2 strikes. Really fouling the fastball back.
He's just trying to stay alive and just hope to drop something in on David right now. In his last at-bat, David came in with a fastball and then a backdoor cutter to strike him out. This at-bat, he's gone hard in. He's gone with the changeup away, got him out in front, a fastball up and away, giving him a lot of different looks and a lot of different things to cover here, especially down 1-2. We're going to go back out away here.
2-2.
Tried to get him with that, what looked to be that changeup again. That's exactly what it was. Just didn't finish that pitch, and it stayed up and off the plate.
Cervelli was on the disabled list for a long time this year. A result of a severe right hamstring strain. On the heels of last year when he missed time with a fractured hand. He was on the 60-day disabled list this year and last year as a result of the fracture. Count is full now. And he's out on strikes, cut the miss, and that's number 9.
Just could not take 3 pitches in a row because that looked to be in a similar spot as the previous changeup, which would have been a ball. But Cervelli go up there close enough. I guess you got to take a rip at it. See David with that changeup grip, 85 miles an hour.
Nine strikeouts. He's walked 2. allowed a run on 4 hits. He drops that off-speed pitch into Solarte, strike 1. He gave up one of the hits to Solarte in the 5th inning after he got him looking at a fastball for strike 3 in the 3rd. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now it's 1-2. And I'm out in front.
Well, it's been a lot of hard stuff early in this game for David, and now as we've hit the 7th inning, everybody geared up for it. He's given them a steady dose of off speed, especially with that changeup here.
See what he does with them here. A ball, 2 strikes. Upstairs with the hard stuff. Fastball, 94. 2-2.
This is where you might start to wonder about David Price tiring a little bit, going to that changeup more. That fastball, he wanted to bury that in about at the belt and end it, and just couldn't get it in there. Left that ball up, going to try it again.
2-2. It's fouled out of play. Solarte staying alive by fouling that one up the right side.
That's the thing, you throw a lot of pitches under duress with runners on base and having to work your way out of jams. That really hasn't been the case for David today, but you do throw a lot of pitches under duress when you're working with a tie ball game and a 1-run lead, knowing that any pitch the game can turn. They could tie it up with 1 swing of the bat, so every pitch is big.
Again with a 2-2, and again a foul ball. Back off to the right. On a string of double-digit strikeout performances. 5 in a row. Started with 11 against Miami, then back-to-back 10 strikeout performances against Seattle and Houston. He had 12 against the Astros again, 11 against Pittsburgh the last time. 2-2 to Solarte. And we go full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. It's the top of the order on deck. Brett Gardner. Three-two, pops him up, foul. That ball will carry out of play. Looney's over there, but no chance. The count at 3-2. That's what's coming up tomorrow on Rays Live, the pregame show presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. We'll hear from Jake Odorizzi, and Orestes will break down one of the hot Rays at the plate, Logan Forsythe. Price ready for the 3-2 again, and it's inside. Solarte draws the walk. So a prolonged at bat before that pitch in. 3rd walk given up by Price.
He comes back here with another changeup, and this one he just yanks down and in. And
it was a 9-pitch at bat to Solarte.
I think this visit here by Jim Hickey has more to do with the stamina of David Price and giving him just a little bit of a breather. That's going to help Jake McGee get ready a little bit quicker. But David Price has had to work very hard tonight because of the scope of this game and how tight it's been from pitch 1.
And you can see his pitch counts up to 114. He made 120 pitches against Pittsburgh the last time out, 8 1/3 innings.
And how about 3 walks in this game?
That's a big deal.
Big deal.
He did walk 3 against Houston on the 20th, but he had walked only 14 all year coming into this one. So you think about that. Walked 1 in the Pittsburgh outing, 3 in Houston before that, and then 3 in this game. Now Brett Gardner. There's a strike to Gardner. Gardner, nothing out of 2. Bryce started his evening on the mound by walking Gardner back in the first. Left him on. Walked Teixeira in the 6th, and now Solarte in the 7th. One and 1. Fastball missed.
You can see David shaking his head too, because for most of the night that pitch has been a strike for him.
Not this time, says Marquez. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Stay away from him.
And he picks up the strike out there.
And I don't know if that may have been a little bit of a makeup. That ball much better height-wise, but looked to be off the plate. Let's take a look.
Could be.
Could be a touch.
Yep. So it's a 1 ball, 2 strike count. Start of a swing. Gardner checked, and we go to 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Now Jose Molina, he sets up off the plate, angles back towards it, and then tries to stick this ball. Same exact pitch that was called a strike on the previous pitch. Not this time. Flip a coin, I guess. In this at bat, anyway.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at first. Ground ball to third. Bobbled by Longoria, but he keeps it in front of him. Throw to first. Got it. The stretch and the lean toward right by Looney. They take care of Gardner, and the Yankees are out in the 7th on a walk and a man left. Our ball game will head into the 8th inning. We'll take another look at that inning-ending play, 3rd to 1st. The Rays lead this game 2-1. As promised earlier in the game tonight, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. So tweet your photo to #SunSportsFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. Hiroki Kuroda starts the 8th inning with 94 pitches. And Matt Joyce will open the 8th. Then Evan Longoria and James Looney. Joyce opened the 4th inning with a base hit the other way against the shift, and scored the first run of the game for the Rays. This time they have Jeter shaded toward the middle, but not a complete shift. 2-0.
Quick studies. Matt Joyce, he has been swinging a powerful bat, but at the same time leading off an inning, showing that he is not afraid to go the other way if you're going to stay out there. And that is what has caused the Yankees a little shift.
Under it, pops it up. Foul ball. Teixeira right against the railing. One gone.
Now, there's not a lot of room here, like most of the new ballparks. Get the fans as close as they can, intimate type of setting, and that cuts down on foul territory. This one went right to the brink.
There's Evan Longoria. Takes it down. Last night's game, 12 innings. The Rays won it 4-3. They lead 2-1 tonight. Longoria is ahead in the count, 2-0. Evan, 12 home runs here at Yankee Stadium, most by a visiting player. Down the left field line, pretty well tagged, but it's going to be foul. He hooked that one into the seats, foul.
That swing right there of Evan lets you know what he thought about that pitch. That was a little bit of a hanger there by Kuroda. And Evan tried to drive it right down the line. And look what he's done here at Yankee Stadium. Most home runs by a visitor. And overall, he has really harassed this Yankee pitching staff.
One hit tonight, a single in the 4th, 1 for 3. And a base hit lined into left. He'll make the turn at first and hang on as Gardner gets the ball back into second. So the Rays have a base runner with one out in the 8th. Saturday, it's a full day of MLB action, beginning with the Diamondbacks taking on the Braves on Fox Sports 1. Then it's baseball night in America on Fox as Nelson Cruz and the Orioles take on the defending world champion Red Sox. Or the Rangers take on the Mets. Our MLB doubleheader begins next Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and continues at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox. One on, one out. James Looney will bat, coming off the home run in the 6th inning. Ball one. Looney jumped on the first pitch in the 6th inning and hit it out to right center.
A breaking ball just right into his swing, down and in, and that is the difference in the game right now.
Big cut and fouled it. But after the fastball, it's 1-1. Kuroda pitching deep into this game for New York, his 17th start of the year. That's a fair ball the opposite way. Kicks off the sidewall. Longoria's digging for third. He is safe there. And down to second base goes Looney. Well, Will Little had to do some moving to get out of the way and still make the call. Fair or foul on the ball hit by Looney. And then had to recover to make the play when Longoria headed to third. And Gardner's throw on its way there. Little found himself making that call as well.
Now that kick off the wall is what gave Gardner an opportunity. See Looney right here, able to just saw that ball right down the line, keep it fair. And this kick gives Gardner an opportunity right here. It comes out to him, cuts the distance he has to run. And then here's the play, and Evan does get in there safely, right on top of the call.
So it's a single for Looney. He goes to second on the play at third, and Will Little, a lot of action for him on that play. Logan Forsythe. Logan drove in a run for the Rays with a base hit up the middle in the 4th, and the infield is in. And the pitch, a strike on the inner part. So a big spot for Forsythe, who has been red hot and is 2 for 3 tonight. Tapper foul.
Boy, a huge opportunity here. Second and third, the one out, a chance to put some distance between yourself and the Yankees. Forsythe, he has been very good recently. Figueroa on deck, infield in.
Forsythe, a walk and 2 hits last night, including the go-ahead single in the 12th.
And you're just thinking solid contact. That should do the trick.
And he fights this one off to stay alive. Down 0-2. Foul that one.
Yeah, and going after a ball, but trying to make sure that he covers everything. Shorten that swing and was able to get to it. Not a lot of guys do. When Kuroda throws that split short like that, piles up an awful lot of strikeouts. And that's certainly what he's going for here. That's what he needs. And Forsythe going to try to spoil.
And he got him. Kuroda threw a tough pitch. And Forsythe, down in the count, is out on strikes.
Well, he fouls off the previous one. You see the grip. You're going to go right back to it. And this was a good one. Very good one. And Logan just cannot stay back long enough.
So that's a big strikeout for Kuroda, because the infield with 2 outs can now drop back.
Hey, Cole Figueroa, how about a big hit in Yankee Stadium?
Absolutely.
As the DH.
Cole
no
Figueroa
less.
0 for 3 so far tonight, and this would be a great spot for it. Tap to second. Roberts up with it. New York gets out of the jam. The Rays leave 2 men in scoring position. Still 2-1 Tampa Bay. At Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, our T-Mobile game changer. Take a look at the evening for David Price, who finishes with 9 strikeouts, 1 short of another double-figure strikeout performance.
Yeah, too bad he couldn't have got there because he certainly worked hard enough to get the 10, and he's had to because Hiroki Kuroda's been pretty good on the other side, but he's been good with his fastball, especially into the righties. And then as the game went on, especially we saw in that 7th inning, the changeup started to come out and go along with that backdoor cutter. Not many curveballs. I think the last curveball I remember seeing was the one that Jeter really popped out to center field. But other than that, the fastballs, changeup, the cutter, all good, and he'll now give way here to Jake McGee.
Yeah, he piled up a lot of pitches the last 2 innings he worked. 24 in the 6th and 22 in the 7th, finishes with 119 pitches. And now Jake McGee on to face Jeter, Ellsbury, and Teixeira. 40th appearance for Jake.
Good numbers all around, more than a strikeout an inning. Just 9 walks, doesn't hurt himself that way, and doesn't hurt himself with the opponent's average either at 168. Race to the finish.
Derek Jeter 2 for 3 tonight. He scored the New York run when he led off the 4th with a double. And the pitch to Jeter is a strike. Jeter gets the back foot out of the way. 1-1. Jake pitched an inning last night in relief of Chris Archer. Gave up a couple of hits. Ellsbury single, and McCann got a single on a misplay in left. Jake struck out 1. Now faces Jeter in the 8th tonight. 2 balls and a strike. It has been a 2-1 game since the 6th. Right back into the screen. 2-2. Jeter leads off this inning. The Yankees are 1 of 8 with men in scoring position tonight. 1 of 15 with men in scoring position for the series so far. Nobody on, nobody out here in the 8th. And Jeter is out on strikes. Strikeout number 10 for Rays pitching. Practice your jump shots with the Yunel Escobar basketball set presented by Sun Sports. The kids 14 and under while supplies last. This basketball set available when the Rays take on the Blue Jays Sunday, July 13th. All as part of Family Fun Day presented by the Tampa Bay Times. For tickets, visit RaysBaseball.com or call 888-FAN-RAYS. Ellsbury pops it up. A little broken bat pop up, and it's handled by Forsythe. 2 up, 2 down in the 8th. Hitter will be Mark Teixeira. Go for 2. He walked in the 6th. Hitting from the right side, takes the ball. Huff, the left-hander, up again. That's Robertson, the right-hander. One and one.
Well, Jake McGee just one heater after another, always in big spots, facing the tough part of the lineup here for the Yankees. And now you know he's got that curveball in reserve if need be, but I doubt that you're going to see that with these particular hitters, guys that he thinks that with his fastball velocity he can just overpower at this point in their careers.
And look at the location.
That doesn't hurt either.
A couple great pitches for strikes on Teixeira. Down to third. Longoria's throw is right on the money, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. We're headed into the 9th. It's 2-1 Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay Rays and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Tampa Bay Rays. Rays coming in to bat in the 9th inning, holding a 2-1 lead. the Yankees go to the bullpen. David Huff, the left-hander, will make his 6th appearance for New York. This one in relief of Hiroki Kuroda.
Well, David Huff looking to do his job out here, keep the Rays lead at just 1, and hope that his offense can muster something in the 9th. And the Rays, just the 6th game here for David Huff, looking to add on. They're going to try to do that down at the bottom of the order here with Molina, Kiermaier, and then back to the top. So good luck to all.
Well, here we go with Jose Molina against Huff.
I've been waiting for this matchup all night, and here it is.
And a big cut by Molina. He was serious.
Power on power.
Yep. Well, Huff ready with the next one. One and one.
Well, Huff was looking to get into that ball game last night if the Yankees had really run out of right-handed pitchers. Didn't have much left out there as that game had moved into the 12th.
And another big cut. Boy, Molina's getting serious up there, trying to go deep here on these 2 swings.
Yeah, those have made maybe 2 of the hardest swings we've seen from a Jose all year. Just a little bit tardy on that one, and that was set up by the previous changeup.
And right there, he's out on strikes.
Now, David Huff went back to the heater, and he put it in a better spot.
Well, that's Grant Balfour up in the bullpen. Kevin Kiermaier against the lefty. It's in there for a strike. One and one. 9 hits allowed by Kuroda in the 8 innings he worked. 2 runs, 1 home run, walked 1, and struck out 7, made 109 pitches. It's 1 and 2. David Price made 119 pitches tonight. Jake McGee, a 1-2-3-8, 10 pitches in that frame. Kiermaier battling that one, fouls it away. Follows that one all the way in for ball 2. Kiermaier takes it the other way. Cutting to his left is Gardner. 2 outs. Base is empty. Our continuing coverage follows our matchup between the Rays and the Yankees. Rays live the post game presented by Checkers. Rich and Orestes there in the studio to anchor. We'll have Joe Madden's press conference. Todd Callis will have interviews from the clubhouse. We'll focus on the pitching performance of David Price tonight. 9 strikeouts. Desmond Jennings takes the pitch outside. Desmond 2 out of 4. 1-1 count. Desmond opened this game with a single, then picked up his double in the 5th. 2-2.
I'll tell you what, David Huff doesn't waste a whole lot of time trying to get the Yankees in and out of this inning as quickly as possible.
Now the 2-2. And strike 3 called on the inside corner. Rays out in the top of the 9th. Beltran, Soriano, and the pesky Brian Roberts do. Of the 9th, Rays lead this one, and Rays fans don't miss tomorrow's Wednesday showdown presented by Mazda. The Rays take on the Yankees right here in the Bronx. We'll be with you at 12:30 on Sun Sports. It's another Web Wednesday, and Jake Odorizzi will go to the mound for the Rays. He's been very good. Those numbers over his last 4 starts indicate.
Yeah, and the first 3 were smooth. The last one was a battle, and maybe the most impressive. That was the ball game against the Baltimore Orioles in Baltimore, where he went 5 innings, gave up 6 hits, walked 4, was in constant trouble, but wiggled his way out and gave up just the 1 earned run. It was an impressive performance in a tough set of circumstances.
Grant Balfour against the call for the Rays here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Trying to close it out. The Rays hold a 2-1 lead. And Grant, as you can see, 10 of 12 in save opportunities. He'll face Carlos Beltran to lead off the bottom of the 9th. Beltran 0 for 3 lifetime against Grant with a couple strikeouts. And the first pitch is wide. 1 ball, no strikes.
Balfour, key here is that arm side fastball, and that's what he's going to try to use to get ahead of Beltran. Tried it right there and missed, and that's a pitch that he has pretty good command of overall.
And ball 2, says Alfonso Marquez.
And that would look like a backdoor slider there, and I don't know what was wrong with that, and I think Jose Molina kind of wondered the same thing. He went to throw it back expecting the strike call, and what? I want to fall behind.
All 3. Well, Soriano's due to hit next, but they're going to pinch hit for him. Brian McCann on deck. That's a strike. 3-1. Balfour trying to work his way back from a 3-0 count. And there's ball 4. So Beltran is aboard, drawing the walk. Pitch down. Brian McCann will now pinch hit for Soriano. They're going to get a runner at first for Beltran. Ichiro Suzuki running. It's a 1-run ball game. McCann 0 for 4 in his career against Balfour. So it does not appear that it's going to be easy. Leadoff man at first, 1-run game, bottom of the 9th. And a lob to first from Balfour.
And 2 stolen bases off Balfour this year, no caught stealings. Ichiro Suzuki, a great, he's a very good base runner. Doesn't have the speed that he once did, but can cut the bases very well.
And there's a ball that's pretty close, but it misses.
And Brian McCann at the plate, a tremendous amount of power, and that's why you see Grant. He's usually very good arm side with his stuff, and you want to be here and force Brian McCann to hit the ball to the big part of the field, play short and right, and he's got some juice in that bat.
And a big cut, a foul ball. Just a little piece of that one at the feet of Marquez.
Those pitches away that were called balls, and I think right there, Grant Balfour trying to catch some of the plate to get a strike, and that was almost too much plate.
They overload the right side. Longoria alone on the left side. And a foul ball. He took another big rip at the fastball. 1-2.
And he was just a little bit tardy on that one. A couple of breaking balls, slow him down just a little bit, then rush 93, and he was just not able to get to it.
Suzuki at first. Now 1-2 the count to McCann, and strike 3 call. McCann out on strikes. A big strikeout for Balfour.
Well, that is that arm side fastball that Grant is usually very good with, and he buries it right to the corner. That is just perfect placement.
So now it's Brian Roberts. Roberts 0 for 3 tonight. He hit the home run last night with 1 out in the 9th inning.
Yeah, and that
sent the game into extra innings.
Very rarely does Grant Balfour miss in or down and in on a lefty. And the one thing you think about here with Brian Roberts, he's a pretty good bunt guy and bunt for a hit guy. You may want to keep your eye on that, because Grant's going to work him away.
Pitch down, 1 ball, no strikes.
That pitch that he hit for the home run last night was a fastball from Peralta down and in. And you very rarely see Grant go in like that on left-handed hitters, especially here at Yankee Stadium. You're just not going to see it.
Stays away and is behind 2-0. Here's another look at Roberts on a 3-2 pitch. Tied the game 3-3 in the bottom of the ninth with one out last night. Bottom of the ninth right now. 1 on, 1 out. 2-0 the count. And a strike. Fastball. It's Kelly Johnson on deck. Liner into center field. Jennings is there to make the catch. 2 gone. Stayed up for Desmond. So 2 outs with a runner at first. Cervelli spot due. And the left-handed bat of Kelly Johnson is called upon to pinch hit. Suzuki at first. 2 outs. Pitch is up. Kelly Johnson 1 of 5 in his career against Grant Balfour. Price worked 7. McGee 1. Now Balfour. Two balls, no strikes. Two balls, no strikes. High foul. That's back, going to be out of play. It's 2-1. Visit to the mound by Molina.
Kelly Johnson wants to swing the bat. And Grant Balfour, you know what? Let him swing the bat and let him hit the ball the other way, because for a left-handed hitter to go the other way and get it out of this place, you've got to absolutely destroy it. So you just stay away from him.
Kelly 16 home runs with the Rays last year. Pinch hitting against the Rays here tonight in the ninth. And he fouls it the other way, back and out of play. A fastball from Balfour, and the count goes to 2-2. David Price made 119 pitches tonight through 7 innings. And the Rays right now 1 out, indeed 1 strike away from closing this one out. And it just missed. A little bit wide. Count is full.
And this is it too, because you absolutely need to make a pitch here. You don't want to walk here, put a runner into scoring position where a single scores. But what you've done in this count is you've given Ichiro Suzuki a head start.
He's off with the pitch. 3-2, ball 4. And that pushes Ichiro up to second. 2 men on with 2 men out, 2 walks here in the bottom of the ninth. So the Rays and the Yankees here in the bottom of the ninth inning. See Longoria Wants to talk with Molina. Solarte is going to be the hitter. Hitting from the left side against Balfour. Solarte has a home run off Grant in 2 at-bats. So it's 2 men on, 2 men out, and Solarte, who started the season red hot for the Yankees. He's cooled quite a bit, but still a danger. First pitch in there, strike call.
Solarte on the season a much better hitter from the left side. Against right-handed pitching, 282 average, 233 as a right-handed hitter. And all 6 of his home runs have come from this side of the plate.
Balfour started him with a slider for a strike and a ground ball to first. Looney's got it, stepping on the bag, and this game is over. Rays win it 2-1. Yankees leave 2 men aboard in the bottom of the 9th inning. And the Rays take the first 2 games of this series with a 4-3 12-inning victory last night and a 1-run victory again tonight. 2-1 the final in 9 as David Price will get the victory to even his record. James Looney, who hit the home run in the 6th inning to give the Rays the lead, made the final play on that ground ball. Looney unassisted. And there's Looney taking care of the ground ball off the bat of Solarte. And he'll run it in. Did get a little crowded. 3 men converging on first. Solarte coming down the line, and Looney made the play. And he closes it out for David Price. 9 strikeouts for Price tonight in 7 innings. And his record evens on the year. 7 wins, 7 losses. Kuroda, the losing pitcher, dropping his record a game under 500 at 5-6. Right now, let's go to the field and Todd Callis.
All right, Dwayne, before we talk about the big home run, that last play wasn't easy. You look like you had a little bit of an in-between hop there, huh?
Yeah, that was one of the tougher hops that you get. So, if I didn't catch that cleanly, hopefully I just knocked it down.
You're trying to smother, and then hopefully you'll be able to scramble to the bag or get it to Grant.
Yeah. I thought, I thought I had a chance to get him, even if I knocked it down right in front of me. So.
When you go up to the plate occasionally, and Kuroda's been a guy earlier in your career struggled, but recently you've had some success. Do you occasionally look for a pitch that you can drive? Was that your mindset on that?
I always look for a pitch I can drive.
Take a bigger swing.
And with 2 strikes, you battle up there, and you're obviously going to probably swing at more pitches than you will with no strikes. So I just got one over the plate, and really good swing.
How about the next base hit down the left field line? That's a space you don't often occupy, huh?
Yeah, I don't get too many down over the bag, but I'll take them.
What about this team right now, James? Well, let's talk about the guy you played behind tonight and the role that David Price has been on with the strikeouts and with battling like he did tonight. It's been a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I was surprised to see him out of the game, actually. I didn't know how many pitches he had, or, usually he's been going 8 or 9 for us every time. So, he wants to be out there. He's a competitive guy. If he could pitch every day, he would.
You guys think you still have a run in you? I know the big picture, you've got a long way to go, but the way you're playing right now?
No, we have no chance. Yeah, of course we do. Come on.
You think this team's playing better now than it has at any point this year?
Yeah. I mean, you're going to go through ups and downs through a long course of the season. And, we went through it a little bit last year. We running some good pitching, hitting that all the time. So, we're just going to keep this momentum going.
Thanks, James.
All right,
guys, back to you.
Rays are winners 2-1, 2 straight here in New York, and we'll be back in just a moment.